What's up, guys? Time to show off another build we just got done. This is a crystallized Damascus style. Each one is unique. You don't know what you're going to get. You have a kind of an idea of what you're wanting to achieve, but I wanted it predominantly like having a silver essence with a nice pop of color. So depending on how you get it in the light, but you have it's hard to kind of see, but you get little pock marks in it too that you can only see in certain lights that's in that metal. But lots of good color there, lots of good blues. This is on a 2415 automatic movement brushed case. We have a milled bezel, so this was originally a 350 bezel that my buddy Peter milled. So you get different little mill marks depending on what light you're looking in. You can kind of see some of these flat marks. Some of them almost kind of look like a little like a line scuff. So very cool looking bezel. Very unique. Did a set of O-stock 24 hands with a lollipop seconds hand. Currently it has an exhibition caseback on it until his solid caseback comes in, but you can see in there you got a stainless steel movement holder, a signed rotor, and nice clean crown. This is on a shark mesh hybrid band, so your centers are polished, your exteriors are brushed, with just a double lock clasp, the little BVW down there at the bottom. And then, since we apparently have about the same size wrist, I will go ahead and size it closer to me. These are push out. These are not screw style. And they have a nice little grid work here, so they can be a little pain if you don't know what you're doing, if you fold it back on itself or anything like that. So what I'll do is I'll get it close where I think it would fit you, and then you also have these small, these just move over with a some needle nose or just a little push pin. I walk them over, so I push that in, kind of bend it over and click it into that one, and then do the same one here and click it into that next one. My understanding is if you go from here to here, you're doing a whole link. So no adjustment up here, it stays the same where it's tied in. But that is this build. This bezel will turn on this. It's on there decently tight, but it doesn't really matter where it turns because there is no markings on it. This is backside looms. So, actually, it's not backside loom. We did not. He used a cutting tool and just cut out pockets for us on this. So this is not gone all the way through. So that is the build. Automatic mechanical, so you can wind it, wear it, put it in a watch winder. But if it's dead or you're not going to be very active, make sure you wind it just a little bit. And how you do that is you back the crown off the threads until you hear it and feel it clicking. At that point, you can wind, and a wind is a turn away from you. Turning it towards you doesn't do anything, but it's a lot easier to keep your finger spacing and just go back and forth. If you do this for 4 or 5 seconds before you put it on, even if you're not very active, you'll keep time throughout the day because that'll be mixed with the rotor movement in the back, which you won't see after we get that other case back on there. When you're happy with your winding, you will pull it to the one and only click. You'll notice there's a wobble crown there that deflects lateral pressure from going into the stem and into the movement. So when you're pushing and prying on it, you're not putting any adverse pressures on or anything. Okay, Google, what time is it?
It's 1:07 p.m.
1:07. You also notice the wobble crown. I think I just mentioned it, but I thought, did I mention that? Maybe I didn't. So 1:07. When you're going to push it over, get it out of that time setting, and wind it down. This has kept perfect time for us the whole time, but I did notice right when I first wind it up and get it going, it doesn't instantly kick. So if you ever have that situation where you wind it and it doesn't pick up going. Sometimes these hands. This is a heavier seconds hand. I don't know if it just needs some oomph to get it going. So I just give it a little shake or a little tap, and then it should pick right up and then not stop. So, but I did notice that on 2 times. The 2 times that I've wound it up, it's kept perfect time, but once it dies, I'll wind it all out, and then it doesn't instantly start going, but as soon as I give it a little bit of a tap, it just picks right up and starts going. So, don't know if maybe that seconds hand's in there just a little tight. This is a very tight seconds hand. It's why I use it. They don't pop out. I haven't had anybody message me from overseas and say, hey, I got the watch, but the seconds hand fell out, which I used to have some of that issue before with some of these produced seconds hands. So it is a tight seconds hand, but so maybe over time that will just, you know, make its maneuvering a little bit better in there. But that is the build. Like I said, I'm going to go ahead and set this a little bit more towards my wrist, since we have similar style wrists based on the beads I did for you. So did I just put that on upside down? Oh, you know what? I actually put your clasp on upside down. So the first thing we'll do is I'm going to swap that around. I'm pretty big on the clasp being this way. You put it on, which is an upside down. So I'll swap these around and size it. So as with every build, you're going to get matching beads. We match these as close as possible, because who has crystallized Damascus beads? That's not really a thing. But we were able to use, I think, all of your skulls throughout all of your other bead sets. So beads that complement. So come in a silver BVW special edition box. This will come with watch foamer. This is good on all glass and metal parts. So this watch as a whole, non-streaking, non-toxic, non-residue, along with a BVW microfiber. This will also come with fine scratch remover. This is Novus 2 from Amazon, just repackaged. It's like a poly watch. It's for your acrylic glass because you can scratch it, but if you do, no big deal. Put a tiny bit of this on it and buff it out using your included microfiber. If the scratches up and down, just go left and right, filling it, haze it out, and you should be done. If you scratch your brushed case, just use the green side of a Scotch-Brite, do single passes one direction and brush it in. Same thing with the outsides here. If you mar up the polishing here, a Cape Cod cloth is probably your best friend on that. But most people don't do that. Most people, if they do anything, they get it on the clasp. So single passes with the Scotch-Brite. I would literally pull it out like that and then do single passes to where you're not hitting this. But that is the build. If you want me to build you something like this, I have 2 other dials, one somewhat like this and one very much purple blue. So so full silver build to really let that dial pop. Going on to Rick. So if you want me to build you something custom and unique, reach out and I'll see what I can do. And if you want to continue to see videos like this, like and subscribe, as I put them up all the time. Thanks, guys.